Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about with GameStop? We got a very, very important video. Watch until the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have been coming back to watch my videos, we could easily be above 50,000 subscribers because about 40% of you who come and watch the videos every single day don't press that big red button, and make sure to turn post notifications on. The first thing that I'm putting into perspective for you is the mass amount of short volume. Take a look at this. January 13th, 2021, May 13th, 2024, and now today, March 17th, 2025, well, yesterday, the mass amount of short volume. Now, that is a picture so you can put it into perspective as to what is possibly about to come. GameStop has had the most amount of volume in the last 6 months today. It also had the highest short volume over the last 6 months today across all exchanges, and that today is yesterday when you saw the stock price drop about 24% or so. Failure to delivers were also close to all-time highs last month as seen on Unusual Whales, which is a great source in my opinion. Now, I'm going to give you some 10 very quickly. This entire post could fill out an entire video, but I'm not going to do that to you. I will give you the too long didn't read. The closing date of the convertible note will be April 1st, which makes sense. It takes time to get things settled, transfer funds, etc. Make sure everything is in order. But also, that 13-day window, which is standard practice in these types of offering, puts the extra $200 million drop on April 14th. Do you know what else happened on 13 days after April 1st in 2020? Well, you saw Roaring Kitty post a YOLO post. Now, basically, this is an extremely long thread that has to do with the recent filing on GameStop, the dark pool orders, and Roaring Kitty potentially going to post a YOLO post on April 14th. Now, this also has to do with the 420 post, the volume, so on and so on, and that is the too long didn't read. And yes, this is confirmed. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I did confirm this, that you can see there is that 13-day settlement window, so on and so on. So it's a very, very interesting theory. Either way, we are coming up on April, which is one of the most important time frames in my personal opinion because we missed a couple point of interest on the chart. And I think that we are about to have a major move. Now, I didn't put this in the video, but I have been seeing all over today on X, lot of bullish Bitcoiners entering GameStop again. Bullish on GameStop, getting it at a dip buy opportunity. And these are whales. These are retail whales. The fact that we already assume GameStop's share price is purchased time and time over, the fact that there are more purchase orders coming in is actually insane. And not only more purchase orders by these retail whales, but guys, that selling pressure that we're seeing, it's all a joke. It's all a scam, and I'm going to explain it. But look at all of the institutional investors. This is from right down here, March 25th, 26th, 27th. All buyers on GameStop. This downtrend is just to shake people out, just to spread FUD. And obviously, you're going to have those people that jump in my comment section and say, oh, well, it's down 20%. LOL, you clown. Yeah, you're cooked. Okay, this is a dip buy opportunity in my personal opinion. Nothing I say is financial advice. Now, I want to give a little bit of tin real quick again and decide what GameStop's share price could possibly be if Bitcoin ran to that 400K level. In fact, 444K is the scenario for the top if we get a super cycle. And that is just for the top in the super cycle. That is not saying long term, like people like MicroStrategy think that GameStop or Bitcoin's price can get much higher. Larger players, CEOs of central banks, think that Bitcoin's price can go much higher, but we'll stick with the 400K level. And just to put that into perspective, what GameStop's price at minimum would likely be is $98.68. Now that is minimum. If Bitcoin got what MicroStrategy got, which is, let me see what it was called. All right, it's beyond the point with what it's called, right? If GameStop got what MicroStrategy got, which is the Bitcoin sympathy or something along the lines of that, where people match GameStop's price to Bitcoin, which is likely what's going to happen, right? That brings GameStop possible scenarios. Okay, Bitcoin Proxy, that's the word I was looking for. It was on the tip of my tongue. $2,500 a share or $25,000 a share in an extreme squeeze scenario. $5,000 to $10,000 per share isn't off the table in a wild squeeze, but a more balanced and a realistic scenario is low, basically conservative, $500 to $1,000 per share. So we have these price targets. If Bitcoin were to have a super cycle, GameStop getting that Bitcoin proxy and adding more money into Bitcoin, also getting that super cycle. And that is with them, buying 5 billion worth of Bitcoin, even though they're about to have 6 billion on their balance sheet. Now, reports of Fidelity, Vanguard, and more brokerages are removing the buy button for certain stocks like AMC, okay, MLGO, and GNS. All squeeze plays, all short squeeze plays that we've talked about, that we have mentioned. And we're going to jump into GameStop's chart very quickly. It's up 1.95% on the day, even though the market is bleeding. It's trading at $22.50. And the one thing I do want to point out is GameStop, the market maker short sellers pushed GameStop right back in the algo. What do you know? They pushed it right back in the algorithm, because if we continued to break, the system would have been fucked. They would have had to force cover, and this thing would have went to who knows what. Absolutely breaking the system. I mean, if you really think about it, deep down, and they didn't bring GameStop's price down, the whales that entered $500,000 worth of call options, do you know how much a payout would be to them only? And then you have retail dropping 20K, 50K on call options. Every retail investor dropping 1,000, right? Do you know what the payout would be? It would be absurd. The whole system would break. So they pushed it back in the algorithm, and now you're seeing it perfectly come down, bounce off of this buy block, perfectly get rejected, and now you're sitting back in the channel. What do you know? Now I want to state something very quickly. KOSS dropped about 18% when GameStop dropped about 24%. They're on the same algorithm, and I'm considering taking a small position in KOSS, a risk position. Broke out of this channel, pushed back in just like GameStop. And you can't forget, shortly after GameStop ran in May, KOSS ran 718%. GameStop's rally, what percentage was it? 704%. So you have equal opportunity, obviously very high risk, as GameStop is transforming their business model. But I just wanted to put this on your radar. Now, someone asked, what happened to AMC? Do you want me to cover this? I mean, look at the price action. And I actually am going to say something about AMC in this video, so stick with me. But look at this price action. The fact that people want me to cover it every day, and I mean, you want me to give you these levels? Yeah, AMC rejected off of 294 and it bounced off of 289. I mean, come on, it's barcoding. I'm not going to do that. It's a waste of time. But what I can tell you is the fact there is some tin, right? In fact, there is some tin. With the buy button getting taken away on several brokers for AMC, GameStop wants 1.3 billion for bonds. AMC float 1.3 billion. There's a little bit of tin there. Kansas City shuffle. Is GameStop going to buy out AMC? And this is their hint, or something along the lines of that. That would be absolutely insane. That would be absolutely insane. Given GameStop didn't say that they are going to buy AMC with this money. They said that it is used for buy Bitcoin and other things, but the other amount of cash that they have, they also didn't state where or how much is going to go into Bitcoin. So again, just another theory. Now, DOGE staffers arrive at SEC to hunt for spending cuts. Here we go. Hopefully, DOGE continues to crack down on the SEC. Now, $120 million was liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in just 1 hour, and we saw Bitcoin absolutely flush out of this wedge. If you've been watching my channel, here's what I said is likely scenario. Bitcoin is going to fake down out of this wedge and then go for a run higher coming into April, May, and potentially June. April, May, June, strength months, short squeeze months, possibilities, right? If that is the case, you're going to see a bounce here or between 83,700 and 83,000 flat. Then you obviously have other buy blocks down there. But if you've been trading in the market long enough, you make a series of higher highs and higher lows, and then you flush down, market makers grab liquidity, and then you run right through the wedge. It's a pretty dumb setup because, traditional technical analysis is you get the breakout, you play the breakout. Okay, you get the breakdown, you play the breakdown. But no, this market is a lot different nowadays, and it's rigged, and you break down, and it's a liquidity grab. And that's potentially what we could be seeing. And the S&P 500 actually paints an interesting picture to correspond with that. The S&P 500 is at 558.94. It's down 1.5% on the day, and I've told you time and time again, we've seen it time and time again, they won't let the SPY drop more than 2% in a single day. So if you get down that 2% zone, you're expecting to get a bounce. Now, what we saw, it wasn't a whole 2%, but we got very, very close to that entire 2% level. And this looks like a bloodbath on the 15-minute, but we see different pictures being painted. It looks better on the 4-hour. Well, actually, it looks pretty bad on the 4-hour. We got to break down out of this ascending parallel channel, correct? Then you have an increase in volume. But then you look on the daily, and we get another picture. And this is what the picture shows us. The picture shows us that the SPY broke down out of this parallel channel to bounce off of this descending parallel channel. And this next daily candle, weekly candle, most importantly, is really going to tell us what's going to happen. And if I had to guess, you get a bounce from 557, which we just tested, and you come back to 570 if I had to guess. That is my prediction on the SPY. You come back up to 570, even though you broke down out of this parallel channel. Like I said, that is what market makers love to do. But on top of that, what's going to happen at 570? Well, we have to see what volume does. We have to see what catalysts come out. That's also going to bring us to around Tuesday, Wednesday, where the reciprocal tariffs come in, and then you have other catalysts for the market. So what will happen on Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday next week? Monday, you're likely going to get a neutral day. Tuesday, you're likely going to get a push to 570. And then after that, on Tuesday, you're likely going to get an announcement saying, hey, this is going to happen, and it's going to clear up a ton of uncertainty, and then it's going to give the markets a reason to push higher and squeeze, and then, things are going to go green. Roaring Kitty's going to drop a YOLO tweet. I mean, this is all where sunshine and rainbows happen in your head, and we have the high hopes. Worst case scenario, we push up to 570 Monday, maybe Tuesday, then tariffs come in, and that's their excuse to drop it even further. Macro scale, SPY still looks very dangerous. We got to push up weak momentum, and now you're crashing further with increasing volume. Macro looks very, 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 very dangerous. And we saw 500K worth of NVIDIA $90 puts expiring in April, which means basically somebody is betting that NVIDIA is going to dive down to $90 or maybe even lower in the very, very short term. And I also called out NVIDIA puts today in the Discord server because I think it looks very weak. It crashed through several support levels, failed resistance up here twice, right around 122. And NVIDIA is, in my opinion, at the very least, likely to come down to 102.70 and then potentially down to this buy block under $97. And that is where I think NVIDIA is going to go. I think it's an easy play to mid-April to $97, no matter what the market does. Tesla still fighting this resistance level. We have MicroStrategy very quickly that I want to talk about. MicroStrategy broke back into this range in this buy zone, and I don't think it's over just yet. If we continue to sell off, we are going to test this resistance right around 269.80 or potentially 260. AMD, I wanted to bring up and state that it is back at a great buying opportunity around 103.50 after it just ran up to 116. So again, put this on your radar. Guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. If you're not following me over on X, make sure to come follow me over there. Make sure to get in my Discord server. It's the top link in the description of the video where we talk stocks and crypto. I post my trades in there. Best vibes, best people. We have a ton of AI alerts. It's a one-stop shop for everything. The second link in the description is for Moomoo. It's a free broker where you can get access up to 30 free stocks. All you have to do is sign up, open an account, and make a deposit right here. Second link. Do it now. It's free money. You're also getting level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more. And they didn't take the buy button away on AMC. So go do that. That is it, guys. I love you all. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure to get in the Discord so we can chat over the weekend. Lottery stocks out.